First 2 days been like with the offensive group, just getting used to them and getting a feel for them on the field?
They've been good. I mean, you get to learn a lot about your guys, who responds. That's what we're trying to see. We're trying to see guys who give unbelievable effort and guys who don't make the same mistake twice.
How have the quarterbacks handled getting used to you in a coaching setting?
Oh, I don't know. That's a question for them. I hope well.
What have you seen from each of them? What they all bring to the table separately?
I mean, they're all different players. But at the end of the day, our quarterbacks got to play within the system. Whether it's a pocket passer or whether it's a dual threat, our quarterbacks have to be able to make the play they're supposed to make within the system. And then their ability is going to dictate the plays that we call for them. But we're looking for guys who can make the play they're supposed to make.
Notice some coaches encouraging guys at the end of practice to, just to kind of grind through it. I mean, is it a lot for these guys to physically and mentally, first couple of practices, the players?
Of course. I mean, anytime you do something new, there's an adjustment phase, and hopefully our guys are getting through that. But at the same time, nobody cares. Nobody cares that this is year one. Nobody cares this is an adjustment phase. So we can't use that as a crutch. We got to be the very best we can be and get better every day.
I know he's somewhat limited in what he can do. What have you seen from Jay Sean in his first couple of practices?
Oh, I mean, he's been pretty much full go because we haven't been in contact. So he's done everything everybody else has done. He's got ability. And more than that, he's just a great person. He fits our culture. He fits the type of players we want in our program.
Coach, what have you thought about the tempo of practices?
I mean, they can be a lot better, and we'll get there, and we'll continue to push it. But got to get better every day. But I think our guys, for the most part, are trying, but we have to do a better job as a coaching staff setting the standard of what we want and what we need to expect.
Did you see a sizable jump in from practice 1 to practice 2 in terms of understanding, comprehension, a lot of those areas?
I'll have to go watch the film, to be honest. I don't want to make a judgment on something without watching the film and seeing all 11.
Can you talk about the quarterbacks, each of them? You've got to observe.
I mean, Jay Black is a kid who comes to work. He wears his heart on his sleeve. That's something we're trying to work on, is, never let him see you sweat. You can have fun, you can show emotion, but the number one thing we want to do is don't let people see a reaction. And we got to own the football. Jay Trav is a guy who, we're breeding confidence in him. I believe he has unbelievable talent, and I think he's starting to believe that. But we got to get him to be more confident. Tate is learning his way. As a freshman, he's figuring it all out. But I think he's doing a remarkable job figuring it out, and I think he's getting better every day.
One thing I noticed is when there's a teachable moment, a lot of times there's several different coaches kind of coming in with different. How do you guys prepare for what you're watching for at each drill? Who's looking for what on each drill?
Well, we meet on it. We meet on every coach on our staff is responsible for a very specific detail in every single drill that we do. So each coach is watching something very specific. So the coaching points we're giving are not repetitive. There's something different that you saw based off of where your eyes should be. Very similar to how referees ref a game. Their eyes are on very specific things. We practice, we walk through as a coaching staff. Coach Norvell does an incredible job preparing us to make sure we have every detail covered, or at least as many details covered on the field as we possibly can.
Coach, we saw a couple of young tight ends in that boat, right? Playing with Rector, the tight end. What's your first thoughts on them?
I mean, they're both players who are going to have to help us, and there's no learning curve for them. They're going to have to figure it out, and it's kind of trial by fire, which is great. We're a system that's going to use tight ends, and we're going to use them in a variety of ways. So I think I think they got better. I think you could see improvement. I think you could have today. I think you saw the wheels kind of turn at that position group. Was a position group I was very happy with today.
As you've put all of this stuff in the meeting rooms, are you happy with how they've kind of put it into practice in the first 2 practices on the field?
I mean, I'm never happy unless it's 100% right. So I do think our guys care. I do think they are trying to transition from the meeting room to the practice field, but we can be a lot better. I mean, we're day 2, and we look like day 2 right now. And that's not from a lack of effort, because we got to get better every day. And day 15, I hope I can say a different answer.